Now, you join me at a tremendously exciting moment. It's into your head, number 353. We've a lot to get on with today. We have items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be dealt with. That's interesting now. I notice as I look out my office window that my house is casting it's throwing a shadow on the public playway, the public green. I suppose it's a green. It's green. The grass on it is green. It's probably brown or black underneath. I remember before that grass grew there. I was living here before that green grew, and it was a brown. It was all brown then. It was rocks and stones and dirt and clay. Clay, as us normal people call it. Dirt, as you foreigners call it. You foreigners over in America refer to clay as dirt, as if it's some kind of filth. Which leads me to wonder, what do you call stuff that's been rotting in a rubbish dump for years? Presumably you call that dump thing. I don't know. How do you distinguish between clay that's suitable for growing fantastic plants and vegetables and flowers in, and dirt that's not suitable for anything? You call them both dirt. When you go to the toilet, you probably call that dirt too. You say, I had a nice dirt there. I flushed it down the toilet. I read a magazine while I was getting rid of my dirt. Then I went and emptied the bin as well, because the bin in the bathroom was full of dirt. The toilet was full of dirt, and I flushed that, and then the bin was full of dirt, and I flushed that too. Then I went outside and I raked the dirt. I'm going to grow some grass over it now. I suppose in a way that's accurate, because as it happens, that public green that I'm looking at out there does have a sewage pipe going under it, so there'd be dirt going through that, but they put the dirt through a pipe to keep it separate from the dirt that the pipe was buried in, which seems a little silly if you don't mind me saying so. Or is it? No, it's not. It's perfectly reasonable. It's you foreigners that have it wrong. That's not dirt, that's clay. That's perfectly good soil for growing. You could grow cabbages. And in fact, I remember before we moved in, don't tell anyone this, but after we bought this house and we were waiting for the whole sale to go through, we came down to where the public green was there, and it was still just dirt, and planted some cabbage seeds in it. Now, I haven't seen any signs, so they probably ploughed it up again or something before they sowed it. But it was an interesting experiment. We were hoping we'd come back a couple of months later when we moved in and find cabbages growing on the public roadway. By the way, if you're in the neighbourhood and you're listening to this, that's all fiction, completely made up, never happened. Absolutely pure unmitigated bollocks. So that's what you get for earwigging on your neighbour's podcast. Now that's interesting. I just released something from between my teeth. I think it's a nut from a bar of chocolate and nut that I was eating earlier. I hadn't really even noticed the nut, because it's one of those. It's not one of those bars that men eat with big huge nuts in them. No, it's a girly galaxy bar with some sort of little soft small nuts in it. I barely noticed them at all. There was a bit of a flavour of nut off it, but you didn't get a big crunch off a big giant nut that you're biting into. Like you would in a Lion bar, for example. That's a more manly bar, although it does tend to melt, in which case it becomes a bit childish, like a Rice Krispie bun. I don't know if you foreigners make them. Rice Krispie buns is basically you get some Rice Krispies, the cereal, and then you get some chocolate. You cook the chocolate and you put the Rice Krispies in it, and you get a spoon and you put them into things that you hold buns in. And then you give them to children and you say, look at this magnificent food stuff that I created for you because it's your birthday. It's basically it's a children's version of caviar. If you're giving your children homemade Rice Krispie cakes, you're instilling expensive tastes in them for the future. I don't know what you're thinking there. You're thinking it's okay. I got the own brand Rice Krispies, the little crisp rice, and then I got the what did I get? I got the freaking cheap chocolate in Lidl too. Well, what you're not realizing is that the cheap cereal and chocolate that they have in Lidl is not own brand. It's a German brand that we don't know here. That's the only reason why it's cheap. So when your children end up emigrating to Germany, they're going to have to pay normal German big brand prices for these same brands, and it's going to cost them a fortune. And then that's when they'll start eating caviar, I tell you, because that little this so-called little German discount supermarket that's all over my country now, they've got all we're supposedly for cheap people with cheap tastes, but they're frigging reindeer steaks in there. I got a venison steak in there a couple of months ago. So I've seen crocodile crisps, all sorts of crap. You see it on some of the cereals there. I saw a cereal there and it had an ostrich on the front of it. And then I went, actually, I was making that up, but I did see ostrich steak in the freezer there last week. And I'll tell you, ostrich steak does not come cheap. You have to pay, for one thing, you have to pay someone to kill an ostrich. And I'll tell you, if someone came up to you and said, will you kill an ostrich for me? I think if you said yeah, and they asked, how much do I need to pay you for that? I think you'd say a bit more than 49 freaking cents. I'd say, if you give me 10,000 euros right now in cash on the spot, I'll kill an ostrich for you. But you'll need to cover my legal bills as well. And that's not a pun on the fact that an ostrich has a thing that's like a bill. Or does it? There's an ostrich. Is an ostrich like a duck-billed platypus? The same as a beak? I don't know. I'm not sure. Some birds are said to have bills and some birds are said to have... although there is a duck-billed platypus, and ducks have beaks, so that would mean that if the platypus is said to have a bill that's like a duck's beak, then that would lead me to assume that bills and beaks are the same things. They just use the word differently in different things. It's like when that court up in Dublin, depending on what case it's hearing, it's called either the Supreme Court or the Central Criminal Court. It's like when if it's hearing cases about ducks, it calls it bills, and if hearing cases about some other animal that has beak, it says it's beaks. So that's how. If that's the way the legal system does it, who am I to argue? I can tell you. Where are we? 7 minutes and 56 seconds. That's absolutely fantastic. It's very early too. It's only 10 o'clock in the morning. Normally at this point I wouldn't be podcasting at all yet. It's a bit early in the day. I wouldn't be quite awake enough yet. But you don't want to leave it too late either. I usually do it sometime before 2 in the afternoon. But no, this is the earliest start to a podcast I think I've had in quite some time, apart from that time a couple of weeks ago, which was an exception when I did it at 6 in the morning. So that's interesting to note. 8 minutes and 36 seconds. I don't really know how to finish this off. I suppose a bit of a song. Let's see, we're on a minute here now. Pardon the delay, I'll just be a moment. I don't know if you can hear the keyboard, can you? I think you can. Anyway, here we go. Hold on a minute, where's my guitar? I'm not faking this, by the way. This is a real harmonica and this is a real guitar accompanied by my automated keyboard. Anyway, good morning.
Email us at studio@intoyourhead.com.
Help support this
free podcast.
Go to intoyourhead.com/tipjar.
Sit, Kofi, sit. Good cat.
Intoyourhead.com.